G'day and welcome to TruckThat Australia for December. This month we've got two things for you. Currently on the set of filming for the Truckies Top 10 Tips for Sharing the Road, which is being done with White Line Television, and in a little while I'll introduce you to some of the people involved in that. The other thing, we're going to have some footage from my Churchill Fellowship trip in America. I did 6,000 miles only in a car, unfortunately. No one would give me a truck for that long. But I travelled across America, spoke to drivers, looked at their facilities, the issues they have. My question to drivers: what is your biggest safety concern? Got the answer from the vast majority that it was car drivers, four-wheelers they call them. Unfortunately, some of them even spoke of truck drivers being part of the problem. And that's the way the industry's changing. We love our job, don't we? We all came into it because we love the job. But unfortunately now people are coming into it because of just having a job and getting paid for it. It's changed the whole way of life. There is an issue over there with people not being trained properly. They certainly have an issue with rest areas, and mate, some of them are magnificent. But in others I saw trucks queued up out onto the highway at night trying to find somewhere to park and have their regulated brakes. I did end up at GATS, and we'll cover that in the next edition. But at this stage, the intent of that trip was to find out what they do, to try and use some of it here. I've done my 60-page report into the Churchill Fellowship, and that's available on their website if you want to have a look at the whole lot. But look, it was an interesting trip. There were some magnificent looking trucks over there, and I see currently we've got someone here saying that we should be allowed to have longer trucks to have a decent bed, and that's a whole other argument. But we'll be back soon. See you then. I'm here at the rest stop in Superior, Montana with
Randy Wolfe.
G'day Randy, how are you?
Along with my wife, Cindy.
Yes, Cindy, who rides the bike, we'll discuss in a minute. And what's the dog's name?
Paris.
Paris.
As at Paris Hilton.
Yes, very good, of course. So mate, I'm on a Churchill Fellowship tour studying and asking truck drivers about trucks and road safety. What's your biggest road safety concern on the highways here?
Cars.
In
four-wheelers.
Yes, and what specifically?
They aren't paying attention.
And does anybody here teach them anything about sharing the road with trucks, do you think?
Well, I don't think so. I have no idea. They should.
Yes, agreed.
But I don't even know if they do driver's ed anymore. For me, when high school, it was mandatory.
Yes.
I remember right. But that, I don't remember anything about trucks. So no, I don't think anybody teaches anybody.
You said that when your wife first came with you, you gave me a lovely vocalization of what happened. Can you do that?
Well, I was driving along, and this is the first time that she was with me, and I was hearing this gasping of air, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. Well, it was my wife who was slightly panicking about cars cutting us off. Didn't you see that car cutting us off? I says, yes, I did. Well, I said, welcome to my world, honey. So she wasn't used to it. I had been used to it more or less to that point.
And you get to that point.
I expect it.
Exactly right. As a driver, you drive for everybody else. You are forever expecting them to do something stupid so that when they do, you're not exasperated.
That's right. Every once in a while, somebody will do something
Completely out of there. Yeah.
and that does.
Yeah. You can't free see everything.
And every once in a while, you'll get that person who thinks you're driving a little bit too slow. They'll pass you.
Yes.
Pull in front.
And slow down. Yes, I know that one too.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe a dozen times in 18 years that's happened.
So what's your rig? Where do you travel? And what are you hauling?
Machinery. Today it's a storage tank going to a job site in Coal Strip, Montana. We haul machinery.
Yep. And what's your rig? What do you want to tell me about your truck?
2015 579 Pete. Diamond red. Not just red, it's diamond.
Ah, very good. Matches the bike? Close.
Well, it's a coincidence, really. Think of it as our car has the same color too.
Ah, right,
So
yes.
I think by default our color must be red. This truck we bought brand new with 35 miles on it, and now has 515,000 miles on it.
Engine?
It's a 600 ISX.
Yes. And your trailer?
It's a 2013 XL Specialized 35-ton RGM.
Okie doke. Now, you also said to me the reason that you have the bike, which we'll show there, is because when your wife started coming with you, you found you were stuck in truck stops, and you're not real happy with truck stops. I had a bloke yesterday tell me that the percentage of professional truck drivers is falling. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
He said a lot of the older ones are getting out, younger ones are coming in, they're not trained properly, they're not tested, and he said every time he parks in a truck stop he gets run into or bumped, and he's pretty frustrated.
Trained properly, to me, the only way you can get trained properly is get on the road by yourself and figure it out.
But you've got to have...
But you have to have basics. My truck driving school was 3 weeks long.
Yes.
And I don't know what they do. A lot of truck stops, truck driving schools are like 6 or 8 weeks long.
Yes.
I have no idea what they do.
Yeah.
They got to be bored out of their mind, you know, because I really didn't start learning until my trainer was not with me.
Yes, yes. They give you the basics, and then you have to learn all the detail, but if no basics and nothing to start with, then you're putting...
Obviously, you have to have basics, and you have to have somebody with you to kind of show you how to maneuver a city.
Yes.
50% of what we do is knowing how to get from point A to point B and what you can expect.
Yep.
That's just my opinion. I was going to say something else, but I forgot what it was.
It'll come back to you.
It might.
Yes. So, how long have you been on the road?
18 years.
And you're quite happy to keep going?
Beats working.
What's your view of the current regs, of the ELDs and the current laws?
They're constraining.
Yes. Not flexible enough?
They're very rigid.
Yes.
Yes. Paper logs you can manipulate to make things work. And all of a sudden, about 10 years ago, somebody's daughter got killed by a truck or something. All of a sudden we get, since 2003, we've had 4 rule changes.
Yep.
And every time they get more rigid. Because now, you know, like if you're stuck in traffic,
yep,
you're burning up hours, you have no way of stopping your clock.
Yes.
But in defense of the ELD,
yep,
I almost got a ticket one time for having poor handwriting.
Oh, right.
Because the log was supposed to be
legible, yes,
in your own handwriting.
Yep.
ELD has solved that problem.
Very good. One of the minor ones.
And the one thing I like about the ELD is, compared to a paper log where everything was in 15-minute increments.
Yes.
Well, this thing logs everything down to 1 minute.
Yes.
So that actually adds up at the end of the week. And when you're running legal and you're in an accident,
you're covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In theory.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Theory, you know, so yeah, it's pretty hard. Like if we want to use the truck to go, because we used to use the truck to go sightseeing.
Yes.
Well, you know, technically you really can't do that anymore because
Well, you have your personal conveyance laws.
Yeah, but every time you stop, it automatically goes back to off-duty.
Right.
And if you don't remember to go back to personal conveyance, it'll automatically click to driving.
Ah.
Now you've screwed up your 34-hour restart.
Yes, yes.
So it's hard to remember that.
Yes, can be.
Yeah. But I've been on an ELD since October.
Okay, and then some benefits, but some negatives as well, and the constriction is the main one.
Yeah.
Last question on rest areas. What's your view on rest areas? There's not enough in Australia, there's not enough in England.
It depends on what state you're in.
Right, yes.
Yeah. But you're right, there's not enough, but that's not ever going to change. Yeah, I don't think so, because government doesn't get it.
Yes.
And Oregon is the worst one, because they're actually taken away.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Well, I see the next one from here is 87 mile, I read on the sign, and this one was 56 mile to here, because you come through to the border and there every hour or half an hour there's a truck stop or a rest area or something. And
there's quite a few truck stops in Montana.
Yeah, probably on that side.
In comparison to like Texas, they have a lot of picnic areas,
right,
but no restrooms.
Ah.
Yeah.
So you can park in them legally in a truck?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Florida has outstanding rest areas.
Oh, okay.
Florida will allow people to park in the scale areas.
Yes.
A lot of states won't allow you to even park in the scale areas.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so that's each state. But you're right, there probably isn't enough. But the trick to that is experience.
Yes.
I know where I need to be at a certain point. I really feel for the new guys.
Yes.
They don't have a clue.
Yes.
And they're hired by the mega companies who are telling them what to do, and they haven't figured out how to use the word no. And they have to be told by somebody else, they hold the keys to the truck.
Yes.
Shut it off if you don't want to go.
Yes.
You know, your dispatcher might have a hissy fit, but your dispatcher is not your boss.
Yes.
Your dispatcher is a fellow employee.
And that was one of the things that I understood from when they first brought the ELDs here, that drivers said, well, I'm going to be pushed now because I've only done 10 of my 11 hours and they're going to make me do my 11th, and it's now in legislation they can't force you to do that.
That's right.
But you and I both know that in law is one thing, what happens on the road is the other, and if you don't do it and then they punish you another way, they're not going to put it in writing. You're still going to be the one that carries the can, aren't you?
That's correct. And it's also, I think it's a human instinct to, you see a clock, to go faster, even though really you don't have to. You're doing the same thing, but it's just, I think it's this human nature to think you got to drive faster because you got that clock. And now I got smart. I turned my ELD off.
Right.
So I don't watch the...
It's there and it's recording, but you're not running by it.
I turn it off because I don't need to. I'll turn it on when I'm getting ready to park at a rest area to talk with somebody from Australia.
Yes.
You know, but I just turn it off because, yeah.
But some blokes are saying that they're running, a lot of blokes now haven't got the time to stop, they're running to the ELD, you know, they've got to get there for the rest area or whatever it might be.
You'll see a lot of, and they got... See, we're fortunate. Most of our loads, with the exception of this one, is basically pick it up when we get there, deliver it when we get there.
Yes.
This one, we have to be there by 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, otherwise we'll be sitting on it for 2 weeks.
Yes.
But that's what we do. We haul machinery. It's rare for us to have something delivered by a specific day.
Yes.
It's just like in a reasonable time. And so we're generally really not in all that much of a hurry. The only time I get in a hurry is when I'm heading home. I don't care going home. I haven't seen my wife or the house for a month. I'm going home.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for your time, Randy. I hope you have a safe trip and much appreciated.
You're welcome.
Cheers, mate. I'll go around your truck. Thank you.
All right.
Welcome back to TruckThat December. So I'd like to introduce you to some of the crew involved in White Line Television's production of the Truckies Top 10 Tips for Sharing the Road. Over here, g'day Nicole.
Hello.
This is Nicole Rutledge, and Nicole is my co-host. So we're doing the top 10 tips through trying to educate some motorists. And what is your involvement in the industry thus far, and what do you think of what we're doing?
Well, I've been in trucks since I was born. I come from a trucking family and used to host a national truck program, Truck Radio. Now I've moved up to the Sunshine Coast, so I'm currently the operations manager and announcer for 92.7 Mix FM, and can't get enough of being around trucks. So when the opportunity came up to join this fantastic initiative, I jumped on board. I was very, very lucky to be part of it.
So then obviously the aim is to educate motorists. Do you remember
Yes.
back when you were a kid, did you get taught anything about trucks? Being in a trucking family, it's completely different.
Absolutely, and I think now I'm probably more aware of the best way to approach trucks in a lot of road situations without consciously thinking about it. It's just something that we always did. I guess my dad was always very vocal,
Yes.
and I hadn't realised until it came to a point where I was on the road myself.
But the trouble is, all those other people who don't get that opportunity, who don't come from a trucking family, if they're taught by their parents and they hate trucks, well, you're off to a bad start.
Absolutely.
If the instructor doesn't like trucks, then they're not going to teach them the right thing. So that's what we're going to do.
Absolutely. Road safety is very important.
So I very much appreciate your help
Thank
and
you.
coming along, and let's see how it goes. We're going to get out there and educate some people.
Hopefully.
So our next person, if we're going to move around this way a little bit more, is Jessica Ferrari, and she is our producer. Hello Jess, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
So your thoughts on what we're doing?
Oh, I think it's a great project. I'm a road driver, I'm not from a trucking background, and so for me it's been really educational to learn about how we can drive more safely to keep everybody on the road safe.
And do you remember when you first got your licence, were you taught anything about trucks?
No, I don't think that I was. I think maybe do not turn, do not overtake turning vehicles might have been part of my test.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't think there was much driver education at all. It was a while ago though,
Yes,
when I
yes.
learned to drive.
And look, I'm afraid it's not really changed. Many years ago I wrote to them all and said there's nothing in there, there's only one question in the test. We did get it improved and a bit more information, but it's not enough on its own. And even in America, as I say, where they have it over there, they don't teach people to share the road with trucks. Now we've got bigger trucks than they have,
Yeah.
which is one thing that we've got to say over them. But hopefully we will get this out there. It's going to take us a little while, but we'll end up with an excellent result. The man you can't see, of course, is young Stephen McCarthy, and you've met him at other events that we've been to. We've done an interview with Stephen previously, and he's a whiz behind the camera. So we've got a top-notch crew, and we hope to make the road safer for you and everybody else out there. We'll be back soon.
Have you ever met Miss Lindy? She's a gal with the bright red hair. Now she stands high from all the rest. You know her anywhere. Well, she's mine. Yeah, she's mine. Well, I love that little girl with the bright red hair. Well, Miss Lindy, my Miss Lindy. Well, I love that little girl with the bright red hair.
I'm here at the Lake Latoka rest area between Fargo and Minnesota. Lovely laid out. Don't know what the big shed is down the back. More parking there, out of the way. Sand pit, swings, chairs, beautiful lawns, immaculately maintained truck area. What more could you ask for? Plenty of room for trucks, and the facilities from the back, not so pretty, but very nice from the front. And I wonder why you'd make the truck bays so long. Maybe they do cater for road trains in the future. Truck parking up there, lovely shade, bins, tables and chairs, even undercover. What more could you ask for? So still here at the rest area, you can see the aerodynamic effects. Slippery trucks, you'll note the big mirrors out on the wings. Seems to be a big feature. Volvo and Freightliner do very well. That's Peterbilt down the end. come around here. One caravan. Spoke to, again, skirts right along. This one doesn't have the trailer skirts. That one has the trailer skirts you can see underneath. Oh my God, it's an Aussie bull bar. Spoke to the man there, he said he runs up into Ontario. He called it a moose bar. He said the last bloke that hit a moose cost 40,000 in repair and only 4,000 for the bar. You'll see mate next door has one as well. The next one, probably a lot more consistent, are what they must call moose bars. The little one down the bottom, they do vary a bit, but again, right down to the end, the caravan, and then you've got the red one down there, has a similar bar as well. That's sort of what you see on most of them. But good area for trucks. Again, you'll see very, very long bays. I've never seen any of the others that I can recall with bays this long. And plenty of traffic going past, and a welcome spot. Be nice to have some shade for the trucks. You can probably hear there's one over there. I'd say, oh mate, in the red one, that little thing there is similar to an ice pack. We come back here, this Volvo, I'd say he's been idling all night, and at the moment couldn't hear any others. Little boats slipping out there. Oh, peek out, they're all going. Have a look there, you can see the chains hung up, skirt underneath, no trailer tail on that one. So you can see this fella here has his wide singles on the drive. They're not super singles as we know them. They're a wider profile again. Got the tyre inflation on there. And if we have a look around at the next one, not only has he got his wings, but he has the wheel covers, the extensions. You'll note the rubber there, down near to the ground. And then see, we don't want to walk up to the truck there. You can see a close-up of these very wide profile single tyres. He's got the rubber on the bottom of his wings. We'll go around and have a look at the front. Another thing they are looking at here is these see-through mud flaps. Now they still drop the water, but don't have so much spray. You imagine that coming apart, and of course when it falls to the ground, how do you jack it up? They said if it happens, you've got to stop really quickly, otherwise you end up in trouble. So again, you look in there closely, skirt's nearly down to the ground. Look at the bumper bar. Bumper bar's nearly on the ground in these. Lovely big aerofoil and wing kit. Mate with his skirts there. And his wide profile tyres. Again, skirt's nearly, the rubber skirt nearly to the ground. Got his moose bar. Still pretty low. Wing kit there, and we'll have a quick look at the chain carrier. All the chains ready there, chaining up on the hills. The new Kenworth model. And he has underneath, a lot of them have that don't have the skirts. This funny looking device which is meant to keep the air out from underneath the wheels. We'll have a quick look and see if he's got anything in the back. A lot of them, they have the skirts or that. Got normal jewels. Again, you can see the airlines there. So allowed him to slide his try up. Oh, sorry, bogey. Nothing special on the back.
Just a boy on the hilltop, counting sheep to pass the time. Found himself in a quandary, face to face with a lion. Just a boy in a pasture, looking in the mountain. Got more than he wanted when he came along. When the fire became impending, he knew to stand his ground. He could gaze upon his history, oh, see the victory in every stone of his remembrance would let the record show. Just a boy with conviction is no match for a foe.
Now this is what you call rest area. Room in the centre, all the way up the end. Room for trucks along the back. All the way down there. Last night I counted 97 spaces. Magnificent gardens, lots of bins, not much shade out here. And look at this, you would think that was a bloody resort. The brick walls, facilities inside, top class. I will have a look in there too. If you drove past it and only quickly had a look, you'd think it was a resort. And then along the back as well, they could probably plant a nice row of trees along there, but then you've got parallel parking all the way along the back. It goes all the way down to the end. No long vehicle sign or anything. Not a bonneted truck to be found anywhere. Last night there were only 2 motorhomes in those 97 spaces, one at the back and one in the bays. There was an oversized load here. He'd had some tyre trouble. Said it was lucky that it was here that he pulled up. Had to go and get fuel, so dropped his trailer. Again, plenty of room. Shade would be nice, I suppose. Maybe not as critical, but I'll look inside. Check it out. You'd think it was a resort. Nice set of swings for the kids. Note the lovely brick walls. They spent a fortune on the walls. Really need a bigger mower. There are 2 complete sets of restrooms. There you go, mate. Complete set of each end. Water fountains. Tourist info. I really think there's an atrium in the Flash Hotel lobby. Oh, and a clock. Definitely have to write a comment and say how lovely it is. And that's the idea of 2 sets of toilets. They close one set and the others.
Just a boy on a hilltop, counting sheep to pass the time. Found himself in a quandary, face to face with a lion. Just a boy in a pasture, working in the mountain. Got more than he bargained when he came upon the bear. When the fight became impending, oh, he knew to stand his ground. He could gaze upon his history, oh, see the victory in the ground. Every stone of his remembrance, let the record show. Just a boy with conviction is no match for a foe. Just a boy in the valley, not much stronger than a sling, but he knew he was mighty when that giant came on the scene. When the fight became impending, well, he knew to stand his ground. He could gaze upon his history, see the victory in the ground. Every stone of his remembrance.
We're in Battle Creek, Michigan, off of Interstate I-94, exit 92 in the United States. My name is Dylan Woolley. I'm 21 years old. I've been driving truck for just over 2.5 years now. Started when I was 19. I got into it driving truck because, you know, I have family in the industry. That's really what got me into it. Nowadays, you don't see very many young people in trucks around here. And, you know, I grew up knowing that the life of being a truck driver was really rough, but it pays for good college, so.
So what are you doing at college?
I'm an ag business major
right.
at Michigan State University. Here
So
in
it ties in with the fact you're towing a milk tanker?
Yes, sir. You know, it's better than paying or getting paid minimum wage at
Yep.
McDonald's or Arby's or fast food joint like that, where there's plenty of those around. You know, it's a hard life juggling school and truck driving, but it's definitely worth it, you know. Just, I know I won't have to be in a truck the rest of my life. I could even own trucks one day, you know.
I wish you all the best. So what's your biggest safety concern on the highway at the moment?
My biggest safety concern, I would have to juggle it between distracted driving and people not understanding semis in general. Daily I see people on their phones, I'll look down into their driver's seat and you just see them on their phones, you know, Snapchatting or texting or whatever it may be. You also get people that'll cut you off. I mean, I can think of a time where I was going through Chicago and, you know, someone wanted to get over bad enough. I was damn near had my foot all the way to the ground, trying to stop, yeah. You know, and when you got milk on, if it's not all the way full, you know, you get that surge. Yes, it's like a concussion right there. And yeah, I think personally people need to pay more attention to their surroundings while they're driving. And personally, I think in driver's training here in the U.S., people should take a trip in a truck just once to see what it's like. Because I've had people ride with me and they're like, man, I have so much more appreciation for truck drivers after riding with you.
Yes, well, people in Australia say the same, but getting it to happen is really hard. The money, the organisation. I was in England and they actually had, one of the companies had 2 of their trucks available at the truck show. Mm-hmm. And someone from the public could get in, but they took them for a drive. And I did an interview with a lady after she got out. And of course she said, oh, well, I learnt something. I understand better. I will respect trucks more.
Right.
But walk down this way. We'll just have a quick look at your truck. So you're on these super singles.
Yep.
The new wide profile tyres.
Yes, sir.
And what do you think of those?
They run really well.
Walk down this way.
I haven't had very many problems with them. The biggest issue I have is if you blow one, you can't really limp anywhere. You have to stop where you're at.
Yep.
Other than that, you know, me and my company, we haven't really had too many issues with them.
So they say they're about $2,000 each. I think someone said to me.
I don't know about drives, but I know our trailer tires, they run about $800 a piece.
Right.
That's not including rim.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, they're expensive, but for us, it's a cost-effective tool.
Yes.
With our tanks, we can run 50,000 even in those tanks rather than, you know, 45 or 50.
Yes.
45 or 48. Anything less than probably about 49.5, we get the surge. And
yes, because you've got to download it, yeah.
Right about 50,000, you're right damn near the top of the tanker, and you know,
no room for movement, so you don't have the problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, if you have to brake really hard, you might feel it a little bit, but that's it. Right now, I'm currently empty. I just dropped off. So,
right. Yep. So how long is your trailer? Your regulations here, of course, apply only to the trailer, which is why we have cab overs, and you all have these lovely big sleeper cab bonneted Peterbilts, which all of our people love to death. They can't get them in Australia at the moment, and we'd all love to have bonneted trucks, but that's the other issue. So how long is your trailer and what weights are you allowed?
My trailer here is 48 feet, I do believe. Don't quote me on it.
Yes.
But this combination, a 5-axle combination here, I'm allowed the gross 80,000, no more. I mean, if you're like a couple pounds over, it doesn't matter. But they're very strict outside of Michigan, 80,000 across the board. In Michigan, we're able to axle out 164,000 across 11 axles.
Right. Do they weigh you for the whole thing, or do they weigh you on axle groups?
They can get you either way here in the States. I've been tagged both ways.
Right. Okay. Milk was a bit heavy that day.
Yep. I used to haul grain, and when I hauled grain, I was actually about 10,000 over, and the way they did it was instead of doing combinations, they axled it out.
Right.
But being nice, he axled it out. If he hadn't axled it out, he would have done combinations, and I would have a very hefty ticket.
Right.
But my boss at the time had paid for it, so
yes.
That was on him. But I think it's 32, 34, and 12 is what we're allowed. Don't quote me on it.
So you're only running standard tyres on the steer?
Yep.
A lot of our blokes do run the super singles on the steer.
Yep.
And you say you actually get more weight on the super singles on the steer too here.
Well, we do and we don't. It depends on what your axle's rated. That's the biggest factor right there. If your axle's weighted at 14, which I think this one is, or at 19.
Right.
Yeah. Because we have what's called a Michigan Special. It's just a heavy duty truck.
Right.
And those are what we usually use for heavy hauling. I mean, we can use trucks like this, but it's really hard on them.
Yes.
So you will see trucks like this hauling heavy, but not as many as you would those special trucks.
Yep.
Our DOT tend to check the weight ratings and that kind of stuff.
So how do you get on with the authorities generally? Like being a young bloke, you've heard all the stories from the old fellas when you come into the industry. How do you generally get on with the coppers and
I personally have only ever dealt with 2.
Right.
They were both really good to me. I got a ticket from one. The other one, he let me go because he seen an oversized load and he had to go weigh it. But other than that, I personally haven't had a bad experience yet with the
authorities either way.
With the commercial vehicle authority. Yeah, I mean, I've heard bad stories. I've heard good stories. You know, I've heard some that are ex-truck drivers. I've heard some that are young bloods right out of high school.
Yes.
You know, and it just, I guess it's either maybe if they're having a bad day or if they're having a good day.
As we do as well. Yes.
Right. So, I mean, it's people always talk about their bad experiences, but like I said, I haven't had any. And you know, you got to think of them as human beings, just like us. You know?
Yes. They're there to do a job.
Exactly.
Yes,
you know,
and we're not all perfect either.
Exactly.
And so where we can't say that we are, then we've got to recognise they may have a bad day, as you say.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing is we hope they give us a fair go, and if you behave fairly to them, you hope that you would get that in return.
Yep, exactly. Yep, you know, and it's been great so far. You know, like I said, I'm in college. It won't be what I do forever, but it's definitely something I enjoy, and I enjoy being around. I go to truck shows all the time, and it's an environment I like. You know, I talk to the guys about trucks galore, you know, about e-logs, about all that kind of stuff, and it's great. You know, it's a great culture. It's just we need more younger people in the culture to keep it going, and you know, we also need people to understand that they need to look out for others.
Yes.
We have a big issue with that in the industry. We're getting all these new people with the bigger companies that are always just out for themselves to make money. I mean, don't get me wrong, you do get people that, you know, that genuinely know that, you know, we need to help each other.
Yep.
But there's, ever since this, I'd say it started to die off in the 70s and 80s. It's not as much of a brotherhood as it used to be.
Yes.
You know, I grew up around the old truck driving movies, Convoy, and
Smoking the Bandit.
Yes.
Yes.
Movies like that. That's what influenced me to do what I do. You know, kids now, or people, there's not a lot of people my age that grew up around that kind of stuff. I just happen to have old-fashioned parents. But yeah, you know, I'd really encourage the younger generation to get into it and just see what they can do.
So for truck stops like this is a little one that I found by mistake.
Right.
There's not many of them left either. The big ones don't look after the drivers the way they used to.
Yeah, I'll stop at a mom and pop before I stop at a big one any day.
And are there a lot of mom and pops, or there are only a few? They are hard to find?
You'll find them more on the state route.
Yes.
Not state routes, the U.S. routes.
Yes.
So like US 10, US 1. Not as much on the interstates. The bigger truck stops have capitalized on the interstates quite a bit.
Some of their people say that they're now there for the tourists, not for the truckers at all.
You can see that at times. They still cater to the trucker. They have showers. They have facilities for us, but they definitely have a lot of stuff for the average traveler too.
Yeah.
Which kind of defeats the purpose of a truck stop, but I understand too, they got to make profit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I would definitely say sometimes they do lean more towards the average traveler than they do the truck drivers.
Yeah. All right, mate. Well, thank you very much for your time, and I hope the industry serves you well, and safe travelling.
Yep. Thank you.
Cheers. Welcome back. So it is this time of year. It is the end of a year and another one where unfortunately we haven't solved all your problems. Unless you tell us what your problems are, we can't do much about it. I've got to say that we need your help to distribute our videos, to make comment, to help us out with things, to contribute to what we want to do to solve some of our issues. Now, we talked about January being Rest Areas Month last year. We're going to follow that up again next year. But for now, we want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a trucking good New Year. Ask for you to help spread the word about TruckThat Australia, and we will be back in 2019. All the best and safe travelling.
The snow is falling and the cold wind is blowing hard. I'm locked inside tonight, but my heart is somewhere else. I'm thinking of you, babe, and all your crazy ways. I miss you more right now. It must be these holidays. You know you're my everything, the only present I want. And oh, what I give to be with you under the mistletoe. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Yeah, I got you on my mind. Merry Christmas from a distance. I wish you were here tonight. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Yeah, I got you on my mind. Merry Christmas from a distance. I wish you were here tonight. Oh, what I'd give to have you here, my dear. We could sing and laugh about our wonderful year. I can see it now, yeah, your lips stained from the wine. And that sweet smile you have, your hand in mine. You know you're my everything, the only present I want. Oh, what I give to be with you under the mistletoe. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. I got you on my mind. Merry Christmas from a distance. I wish you were here tonight. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Yeah, I got you on my mind. Merry Christmas from a distance. I wish you were here tonight. I'm dreaming you home for the holidays. I'm dreaming you home right now. I'm dreaming you home because you're all I really want. I'm dreaming you home tonight. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Yeah, I got you on my mind. Merry Christmas from a distance. I wish you were here tonight. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Yeah, I got you on my mind. Merry Christmas from a distance. I wish you were here tonight. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Yeah, I got you on my mind. Merry Christmas from a distance. I wish you were here tonight.